Hello! How are you doing? This video is going to be, was completely unplanned. I was not expecting to be doing one today. No, I was, but not like a face video. I was expecting to do a voiceover. But here we are. I just got home from my dad's house, where I've been puppy sitting, and I've noticed that this thing could use a top coat, because my mother, since I painted my room, my mother has been obsessively painting all of her furniture, and she hasn't finished this, so I figured I would do it for her before she gets home. Just to be nice. To be totally honest, I don't really have the energy to do anything else. Like any other type of cleaning. I've done the dishes, but other than that, I can't bring myself to do anything. So hopefully she'll appreciate this. Obviously this is very unexpected for me to be doing, so I don't have a script, but I thought that I would talk about something that's been kind of on my mind today specifically, but it's been on my mind for a while, and that is work. So I am unemployed, as I'm pretty sure I've mentioned like 1,000 times on this channel. I lost my job in the day centre that I worked at because they didn't find my humour funny. They thought it was offensive. Even though there was people there who would use slurs against autistic people, even though the people we were looking at after were autistic. But that's fine, right? Me saying that I want to kill myself isn't, but them saying the R word, that's okay. That's fine. But yeah, so I lost my job a couple months ago, and I'll be honest, I really feel like I'm not capable of work. I know that sounds like such an excuse, but every single time I think about getting a job and going to work, I just get so anxious, because I'm like, I could find like a really easy, nice job with really small, like a small amount of hours and everything. I'll be like, oh hell yeah, that sounds amazing. And then I think about it, and I think about it, and I think about it, and I come up with all of these reasons as to how I'll mess up, and oh my god, everyone's gonna hate me, and oh my god, I'm gonna be useless, blah blah blah, I'm gonna be terrible. And so then I come to the conclusion that I shouldn't have that job, and then I don't apply. I've missed so many opportunities because I've convinced myself that I would be too terrible at them. And you know, I don't know for sure. I could be great in retail, but I'm too terrified to even give it a chance. But after working in the day centre, or not the day centre, the home, you know, that was good pay. So I had a lot of money in my bank, well, a lot for me. I had a fair amount in my bank account to last me, and it has lasted me. But now I'm at the point where I don't have money anymore, because I've spent it on projects that I've not been able to finish because things have gone wrong. I've spent it on my bedroom. I was just like, it's just disappeared now, because I decided I'd do all these things and then I've never been able to finish them, and that really winds me up, because my plan was to try and get a little bit of money in with those projects, but it ain't working out very well. And I just feel so like awful, because everyone my age has a job, and they've had a job since they were like 16, and you know, they don't complain. Like, of course they complain about their jobs, but they don't complain about having a job, if you know what I mean. Like, they don't sit there and go, oh my god, like, I shouldn't be working, oh my god, I'm too bad at this job thing. But then I'm here, like, too anxious to even have an interview or apply for a job. There's no saying I'll get an interview, but I'm too scared to apply for a job because I feel like I'm gonna end up getting the job and then being so useless that they sack me. Because every job I've had, I've more or less been sacked. Like, the first proper one that I had, they overstaffed, and so they got rid of 2 staff members, me being one of them. And I can say fully that I was a hard fucking worker. Like, I worked hard at that place. But they sacked me and kept on one of the other staff members that, in my opinion, they should have sacked. Because he was a rugby dude. And the people who run the place were rugby people. That's why they kept him on, because they knew his parents and they knew that he was a rugby player. That was it. And so it didn't matter how lazy he was or how bad of an attitude he had. You know, they got rid of the person who wanted to learn so badly and wanted to try hard and did try hard. So as you can imagine, that like really threw down my confidence. I was just there like, well, if they chose to keep this guy over me, what did I do to offend people? Like, what did I do wrong? Why does everyone hate me? I then got a job at a pub and I didn't like it there. Horrible environment, didn't like the people. Just wasn't something I enjoyed. But it was only 4.5 hours a week on a Sunday. And COVID happened. And when they opened up, they just never asked me to go back. They asked my mother if she can do shifts. Don't fucking ask me. And so I'm just there like, well, what am I supposed to do? And my mum said, why don't you contact them? And I was just like, but I'm too scared. Because clearly, if they haven't contacted me, haven't asked me to come back, then obviously they don't want me there. And so I'm too scared to put them on the spot and make them feel like they have to ask me back. You know, it's that kind of thing. And then with the care home I worked at, that was 12.5 hours a shift. You know, we would get, we would have to restrain people, which wasn't fun. I had my hair pulled out of my scalp multiple times. I'd been hit. I'd been threatened. You know, I had a service user try to square up to me at one point as well. You know, it's like, and I knew that was going to happen. I knew that I was at risk of that kind of thing. That's what the training was for. But the staff didn't care. Like, whenever I got hit by a service user, because there was this one service user who would hit you and he would just like whack you on the head like that, so it didn't really hurt. But when he attacked me, he would pull my hair, which is something that he didn't do to other people, which was strange. And so I was like, you know, he pulled my hair, that shit hurt, he pushed me to the ground and then started hitting me, and I was like, no one was there to help me. I was pulling my alarm, no one came, I was just continuously getting hit, and because he was so strong in comparison to me, I couldn't get him off me, I couldn't get past him. Like, I had to continue to just be hurt until someone finally heard the alarm and came to get me. And when I explained that to people, they just didn't really give a shit. Like, yeah, you know, they're more experienced, but at least have a little bit of fucking empathy. Like, you're working in health and social care, you should have empathy. Not just for the service users, but for your staff. But nope, they did not give a shit. They didn't support me in any way, shape or form. And whenever I made a silly joke, I got reported, and that led to me getting sacked. Which, again, other people were allowed to use slurs against autistic people. But my jokes were offensive. It just felt like in every job I've had, people just didn't like me. No matter how hard I tried to do really good, no matter how hard I tried to stay out of the way, you know, I would like take different approaches. I would stay out of the way, or I would try really hard, or I would just be quiet, or I would be really interactive. No matter what I did, nobody liked me, or at least it seemed that way. And people just wanted me gone. Well, that's at least what I've taken away from the situation. And in case you haven't seen my self-harm video, I mentioned that when I was working, my self-harm got worse. I would self-harm while I was in work. I tried purging while I was in work. I can't purge, but I tried it in work in the only toilet that the staff had, which was next to the staff room, which was occupied by some of the bosses. And I'm afraid that I'm gonna end up like that again. I'm afraid that, because my mental health is not the best, but I'm afraid I'm gonna end up in a job that I absolutely despise, with people that I can't get along with, and it's just gonna get worse. well, my mum has just come home and I've just about finished this, so I'm gonna leave you go because this is gonna get really awkward if I'm still recording when she comes in. But yeah, that was just my little rant. Sorry about that. Okay, see you soon.